Hey everybody, it's SaskiaSketches, and man, it has been ages since I uttered those words last. But for the first time in a while, I feel inspired to make a YouTube video. And it may have something to do with the fact that I have a new sketchbook. Because I finally filled my old one, and it's been a while since I filled a sketchbook because I started that one, the old sketchbook, almost 3 years ago, which is kind of crazy for me because I used to average a sketchbook a month. So for me to take 3 years to fill a sketchbook is kind of unprecedented. And the reason it took me so long has a lot to do with getting sicker, not having as much energy for art, but it also, I've learned recently, has had a lot to do with art school. Because if you don't know, I went to art school for about 2 years, and it was really good for helping me develop my technical skills, but it also apparently, as I've recently realized, really killed my love for art and for sketchbooking, and just for making drawings the way that I used to, which was a lot more free, because at school they would prioritize making technically sound art, which makes sense, but it really took the fluidity and the creativity out of it for me, which I don't think is an uncommon problem. I feel like a lot of people have complained about this, but yeah, I took a long time to finish my other sketchbook because I just didn't feel inspired to draw, basically. I used to draw every single second of the day, basically. I had every free moment I had, I would always have my sketchbook out and just draw something. And I really missed that. So what happened is I filled that sketchbook, and then I had to obviously have get a new sketchbook, but I also had to store the old one. So I wanted to put it with all the other sketchbooks, and then I decided to look through everything, and I was immediately hit with this wave of nostalgia and of I don't know, I was so excited and inspired about art again all of a sudden, because it hit me very clearly what exactly it was that I'd been missing for the past couple of years. And that, I feel, also is what has been making YouTube especially so difficult. So it doesn't surprise me that now that I'm feeling inspired to have, to draw a lot in a new sketchbook, that I'm also feeling inspired to make YouTube videos again. I cannot promise that I will keep making videos consistently or that I will upload every week, but I would really like to draw more, and film it more and talk about it more, and I have ideas again for YouTube videos, which is it's been so long since that has been the case, and I'm so excited about it. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about my new sketchbook, basically, because I've been so in love with drawing in my sketchbook again, which is just so exciting and fun. Yeah, because basically my old sketchbook, it was a lot of like, I don't know, I wasn't necessarily super proud of the work that I did, and it was all uninspired, I guess. Like, it was much more focused on being technically sound than being, good art, which for some people that might sound very weird, because those two are inseparable for some people. But for me, especially as I've learned recently, or relearned almost, like it's like I've regained the wisdom that I cultivated for myself. So it's just really cool. Yeah, so I I wanted to get the Canson Mixed Media Excel sketchbook again, because back when I used to draw so much and used to fill so many sketchbooks, those were always my favorites. And my previous sketchbook was, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was not one of those. And I didn't like the paper as much as I love these guys. But yeah, it was a bit of a struggle to get the one that I wanted, because this wasn't the sketchbook that I wanted initially, because the older Canson Excel sketchbooks are unfortunately a lot harder to come by on the in this part of the world, I guess. And they're also a lot more expensive, so that really sucks. But I found this one. It's a new edition. And I wasn't entirely sure about it, but now that I have it, I'm actually really excited about it. The only thing that I find a little bit unfortunate is that they only have this A5 size and an A4 size, when I actually really like huge sketchbooks. Like, I would love an A3 sketchbook, because I love big sketchbooks, but I also think it's good to for me to start now with something like this, and as I'm getting back into it, maybe my next one I'll feel like up for tackling a huge sketchbook again. But I'm actually really happy with this size because it's also very portable, so it's easy to take with me wherever I go, which is also something I haven't been doing for a long time, but I started doing it again, and it's making me so happy. So I really want to show everything that I've drawn so far, and kind of go over what happened, basically. And I will also give a couple tips on, you know, how to make, I guess, like how to present your sketches nicely, or like how to, I don't know, or I don't want to make this a tutorial or like a step-by-step or something, but I would really like to talk a little bit about my process, I guess, like how do I do it, and how do I like making my sketchbook pages. How do I feel like, I don't know, how do I plan these things out, and what are the little tricks and things I keep in mind to make nice looking sketchbook pages. So yeah, without further ado, I think let's address the cover, because I used to decorate my own sketchbook covers. I didn't do that for my last sketchbook, but I am very happy that I decided to do this again, because when I did, everything clicked into place again. I used to use these Metabot stickers, and these aren't the actual stickers. These are images that I've printed of the actual stickers, and the actual stickers are more screenshots with a cute little border around them. So then it's not really anything special, but I really liked, because Metabot's obviously one of my favorite shows, because I really liked all the vibrant colors, the compositions, and the characters. So I always have like a little base of those on the cover, and then I stick over something else that contrasts very nicely. For example, these black and white, like, what would you even call them? Like clip art of animals. They're just find online. I always also add one of these elastic bands, because I do like to use lots of different mediums on my pages, so it does tend to warp a lot, and that helps keep it contained. Yeah, and I also love, I don't know, it's kind of simple, but I really like the text indicating whose sketchbook this is. And I also added this cute little border, and I think that really ties it all together. So yeah, this is just a picture that I this is a card that I had laying around that I wanted to use for something, and I like the way it looks here. And this is the date that I started at, because I always like doing a little start date and end date whenever I finish a sketchbook. That's also how I know that I used to average one a month. Yeah, this is my first page. I didn't draw this one for quite some time. Well, quite some time. It was like 4 days, but since I started the sketchbook, because I always do love to do a little opening page with a welcome to my sketchbook, because it makes me happy, and I feel like it starts the sketchbook in a nice way. You're not like kind of thrust into all sorts of drawings. It just has a nice little grounding element to it, I think, which I like a lot. I really enjoy this page, because I wasn't sure if this paper would be able to handle watercolors, so this was like my ultimate test for it, and it does so very well. It warped very minimally, and I'm very happy with how the watercolors look. This is Calamity, and that's Ferrum, and that's my Sona, my character, my avatar, whatever you want to call it, me, and these two are in my story. They are like a guardian lion, so it's really fun to include them in the sketchbook page. So it's like they guard the sketchbook as well. I think that's a very cute little nod to their role. And then this is one of the things you'll see me do a lot, is adding to the sketchbook, and adding basically this element of like, I guess, like texture or something, where you can kind of flick through additional pages. So I could just kind of, this was a really fun page and I enjoyed doing this a lot. This is designed for an original Dinosaur King character. Dinosaur King is one of my favorite anime that I used to, you know, as a child, used to be one of my favorite shows. And I really love it. I have lots of nostalgia for it. I did a couple sketches because I wanted to design a Pentaceratops. In the show there is an actual design that they have for a Pentaceratops, but I wanted to make one of my own because I feel like the one for the show looks a lot like the one of the main dinosaurs, and I wanted something that looked kind of distinct and would be able to fit into the main cast. So I just did a couple sketches, and then I wanted to do some colors, so I did some color thumbnails, and I decided, oh, you know, I can just stick that in like that. Then I wanted to add something like this because I knew I wanted to do colored pencil on both sides, and I didn't want it to smudge. This was actually the first sketch I did for this spread, and I really like the way it looks. I don't know, I think it looks very clean, and this one looks very clean too. I had a lot of ideas for the colors, but I'm very happy with what I decided to go with. As you can see, my initial ideas I don't think would have worked as well, so I'm really happy that I was able to include all this color in it. I think it turned out very well. And I think the first thing that I want to mention when it comes to what I keep in mind when I'm making sketchbook spreads is cohesion between the two pages. So as you can tell, I've incorporated cohesion, the concept of cohesion, a couple different ways in this this spread. You can tell obviously it's the same character on both sides, so that the theme of the page spread really jumps out at you. It's just this particular character that I've been designing, but the visual effect is not always there when you just have the same character on both sides, or the same general theme, like maybe you do a whole spread with just like tigers or something. It may not pull itself together like this. I really like this one because I used a lot of different art supplies, because you can tell this is sketched with a ballpoint pen, this is sketched with a fine liner, but what ties it together for me are the colors, and not just in the character design, but also in the tape that I added here. I feel like this was don't tell anybody, but these bits were mostly added here to cover up mistakes that I did, because obviously I'm sketching in pen, so you have to get it right in one go, and if you don't, then you're stuck with your mistakes. You have to deal with them somehow, and sometimes I deal with it by sticking something over. So I decided I would just play around with this tape, and I included it obviously in adding these additional pages, but I also added a little bit over here to really tie it together, because originally these pieces were absent. And you can tell it still looks a little cohesive because you still have the same colors on both sides, but these little bits here, even though they're not as big a part of the page as they are over here, really add a lot of that element of cohesion and of how well these two pages work together. And I used that same concept on this spread because I used the same art supplies and the same colors, even though the the style and the characters are not the same, because these are obviously humanoid and this is just a tiger. But because the colors are the same and use the same art supplies, you still get this sense of cohesion. I'm very, very happy with this page spread. I think it looks very, very nice. I think another concept that I keep in mind a lot is contrast. You don't see it as much over here, but obviously you have the color contrast between the black and the bright colors and the white, and because it's so simple, that really jumps out at you. It would have been different if I added like more shading. If I had like maybe a gray that I used to shade in the ears or some of the fur here, it would have detracted from the contrast. And that's not always a bad thing, but here I feel like the bright colors like really the way they jump out at you helps make this page look bolder, which I think is pretty cool. Yeah, do I have anything else to say about this? I don't think I do. Yeah, this one I really like. Here's where I'm experimenting a lot with texture and with different like mediums, I guess. Like you saw me like 2 pages ago experimenting with this tape, and I really like that effect, so I wanted to add a little more. I used this tape that has some interesting photographs printed on it, and I used this gold reflective stuff. And the cohesion here is not just repeated in using the same materials on both sides of the page. It is also this is also what I keep in mind when I'm selecting which tapes to use and which colors to use. So you'll see that that in this I've chosen this. I started off with this picture tape, and I've noticed, oh, it's very blue, and it's kind of cold, but also a little bit warm with the pinks, but it's mostly blues and pinks and purples a little bit. And I thought the gold would contrast very nicely with it, so I added some here. And I also wanted to use this, which I think works very well because it also has this shimmery effect. It is not the exact same tone, but it still gets the same effect across, I guess, and that's why it feels cohesive. And from there I added this, just a little poem, or the start to a poem that I wrote, that I was kind of testing out different fonts for, and it also helps with the this is what the whole poem is what inspired this page spread. Yeah, it's mostly about picking which elements to include and really zeroing in on those. So that's why I only used one accent color here, the blue, because it matches these photographs, I guess. Like I love the very dark dark tones they have, and then the blue accent color. So I incorporated that here as well, where I just did the sketch in pen, and then added the accents with the blue. Yeah, and something you also see me doing a lot is just cramming as much as possible into a page, without it looking muddy. And I do that mostly by separating the different elements, so keeping them separate, so it doesn't bleed into each other too much. And you can do that by again by incorporating contrast. So it's really the contrast and the cohesion, the balance that you have to strike to make cool pages. These weren't actually drawn by me. I got to meet a friend of mine, and it was super fun. We hung out and we sketched together, and these she drew for me, and then I drew us having fun over here, because this is when this is a picture we took when we were out sketching, and that is when these were made, which is really cool, and I enjoyed it a lot. But then this was done in alcohol markers, so you may think the composition is a bit weird, but the only reason it looks like this is because I wanted to use this to cover the bleed through. If I had all the page to work with, I might have like made it larger or something, but this was when I was really getting into like getting back into the groove, because this is my swatch page for this piece. So again, incorporating that cohesion between the two pages, where like these colors will repeat over here, even though there's not a lot of color on this page, they are still incorporated. And that adds a little extra to this page, which might have been boring otherwise, because it's just black and white sketches. And if you just put these next to each other like this, this page spread doesn't really have anything in common, and it doesn't conflict necessarily, but it just doesn't look cohesive. But if you add this element to it, all of a sudden it belongs together, which I really like. So this is like a little bridge almost, because it has the colors from this side and it has the dog from this side, which I really like. And this was the first time I took my sketchbook out with me, because I don't do that anymore. Because it's been so long since I've done that. But when because I'd been having a lot of fun with these past couple pages, and then as I was supposed to go walk this dog, I thought I had the thought of why not, should I take my sketchbook with me, and I haven't had that in so long. So the thought that the I don't know, the fact that it occurred so naturally to me, like it even like surprised me a little bit, but it was so fun, because it was like I haven't had that much of a connection with my sketchbook in a long time. So I'm really, really excited that it's coming back to me, and that I really felt like it. And this page was really, it was kind of defiant almost in a way, because I took my sketchbook with me, and then I sat down after walking the dog, and she lay down on the windowsill, and I sketched her, and it was awesome. And then she had enough of sitting on the windowsill, and she walked over to me and she looked at me like, hey, are you gonna pet me or just gonna draw? And I love the look that she gave me, because she's got that look where she's like, okay, well, you look busy, but I think my pets are more important right now. And I thought it was so cute, and I really wanted to capture it. But I also knew she was going to look away again in a second. So I thought I was sad, because I thought I wasn't going to be able to capture it. And then I realized no art teacher is going to look at my sketchbook and reprimand me for drawing from a picture. So I took a picture, and I drew her from the picture. And it was fun, and I enjoyed it a lot. And that, like really, that realization that, oh, nobody's going to judge me on this. Amazing. Amazing. Because in art school, they were very, very strict on drawing from life. Drawing from life is the absolute golden standard. Drawing from a picture, no. Drawing from imagination, oh, that's even worse. So these little sketches that I did from imagination, I was like, yeah, you know what? I need something to fill up this space. I'm gonna draw this. Because this, I don't know how to describe it. This is what gave life to my art. This is what I stopped doing. And this is what's giving life to my art again now that I'm doing it. Again, just these little doodles here and there where like I am drawing something from my life, something that happened, or something that captured my interest. Like when I walked in for the first time, she just went nuts because she was so happy to see me. She just was howling and like wagging her tail and running up to me, and she was so happy to see me. So I wanted to capture that energy. And this is also like text. I love using text. You'll see that everywhere. I write everywhere. But something like this, art school would not be happy with me for drawing necessarily. Like but it gives so much character. I feel like this gives so much character to the page and to my work, and I'm so happy that I'm doing this again. And this was this was funny because we were just strolling along and she decided for some reason to eat dirt, and I remember I was laughing at her, and as I was drawing the sketchbook page, I remembered that moment and I sketched it in, and I included it even though I didn't have a reference for it, and it made me happy. And I love this little sketch. I think I'm recapturing my love for art, and I'm very, very happy about it, and it makes me happy, and I am so happy that I get to do this. And then I drew this from a photograph as well. Come at me, teachers. And I also decided I wanted to do Unicorn again because I loved, and I mean loved, doing monthly challenges when I was younger. I pretty much had a challenge for every month that I used to do, and I really, really enjoyed it. And Unicorn is one of my favorite challenges, so it's also the one that I've done the most. The Unicorn was the only challenge I did last year, and the only challenge of my previous sketchbook, so I really like it. I think it's super fun, and I've been having so much fun just enjoying like drawing a little unicorn every day, and it doesn't have to be perfect. I can just draw a stupid little horse and add a stupid little horn, and it's good. It's okay. It makes me happy, and I feel so much more free and so much more excited about art, and I just have the urge to grab my sketchbook and draw a little bit so much more often than I used to, and it just makes me so happy. And then this one was I'm really happy with this page spread. I think it looks very cool. This one was my by this time was like, okay, well, I've drawn quite a few pages. I think it's about time I do the first page. And I had a couple ideas, but I really wanted to like explore them a little bit more before like jumping straight in. So I did some thumbnails over here, and I had a couple of really cool ideas, but not all of them would work. Kind of settled on this one, and then this one was my first like sketch attempt of it. And I then used this transparent piece of, like, I don't know exactly what it is, vellum, I think, to trace over, and to help me then trace it onto here, and then I sketched over that, and extended the piece basically, because this one's vertical, horizontal, and that one's vertically oriented. I just really like how this one turned out, and I also like the sketch enough to have it in my sketchbook like 3 times, so that makes me happy. I really like how like, again, I used the concept of cohesion here by using the same 2 pens, a black one and a blue one, and I was already thinking about it when I was doing these thumbnails, because I did the squares in the blue and then the thumbnail sketches in the black, and I did this sketch in the blue and then this one in the black, and because of these, because the black and blue are combined here, that combines these two nicely as well. I hope I'm explaining it well, but yeah. Then I had an idea, a vision for a new page spread, but for that I really wanted to draw a couple sorrow heads, because I wanted to like capture the blockiness of it especially. Then I was drawing it and I got bored very quickly, because I actually don't like drawing the sorrow head at all. But I don't know that because I hadn't done it before, but I really wanted to just like play around with it a little bit. So I just kind of did some funny sketches, and you can tell I was bored because I was drawing memes, but like it was fun. But the reason I picked then this blue pen to draw in again wasn't just because I used it on this one as well, and also because it's one of my favorite pens now, but because I did this one when I didn't have a sketchbook. So and I wanted to include this somewhere, but I wanted to like stick it in somewhere, but I still wanted it to like make sense. So I drew in the same pen on this one as I did on this one, and I like how I included it here. And then on this page I played around with more textures, so that's what ties these ones together a little bit is because there is this added element of depth, I guess, or texture, of paper stuck on other paper, so that makes it feel a little bit more cohesive. This page spread is more focused on contrast, I guess, because this side is blue and that this side is blue and that side's red. And I like it a lot. I like the red versus the blue. I think it looks cool. Even though this spread isn't necessarily like super cohesive, I still think it looks nice together, and that's what we want to focus on, is how does it look together. And I think this it's a nice contrast, so you don't always have to incorporate an element of cohesion, as long as you do one of the two. It looks cool. I think I really like this one. I think I captured this dog very well, especially his like stupid personality. And then this page spread is what I had in mind, what I had a vision for. Why I wanted to draw these heads is because I wanted to draw all the dwarves from The Hobbit. Because at first I wasn't sure what I wanted to draw exactly. I just knew I wanted to do portraits in 2 colors that contrasted very heavily, and I was very excited about that, but I didn't want to just draw random people. And then I thought, oh my gosh, I could draw the dwarves, and that was very fun. And if you know anything about me and about my art especially, is I find drawing human faces in a semi-realistic style the hardest thing to do. I don't like drawing portraits whatsoever, so this may come as like a big surprise because I don't do this stuff normally. But I was just so inspired and excited that I just went for it. And I think what helps a lot with the dwarves is because they have such crazy beards. So for a lot of them, half their face is obscured. So it doesn't really matter exactly, where you draw the jawline, because there's a ton of hair in the way. And these aren't perfect. These don't look exactly like the characters from The Hobbit, but I don't care. And this like really sparked something in me, because I have always been, especially with art school, so obsessed with making everything perfect. So just letting go, having fun, being loose and not having to be perfect, so fun. And I really, really enjoyed just making mediocre art, I guess. Like, these especially not up to my standard, but it doesn't matter, because this one I really like, that one I really like, that one I really like, that one I really like, a lot of them I really like. But what happens is I had fun, and the fun is what sticks with me, not the particular sketch, I guess, or like the quality of it. I just had so much fun, and I highly recommend you do this, because basically all I did was I grabbed pictures and I sketched in pencil very lightly, and then I went over with the blue and did all the shadows, and then went over with the orange and filled in the rest, and then sketched over with a pen, and it was really fun. And I really like how this page spread turned out. I just think it's so nice. I had a vision, and the vision came together super nicely, and I'm just so happy with it, and it makes me happy. And then I did another, like, that's why I stuck this the paper to the back of it, because of course it was bleeding through like a lot, because it's alcohol markers. Did that again on this side, and then in order to again incorporate or like create more cohesion, I added a little bit over here as well. You can't really see that, maybe a little bit. This whole section is added on. And this was really fun, because this feels so much like something I would have drawn years ago, like in my current style, obviously, but this was just so fun, because this is just life stuff. I got 2 new plushies, and I love them so much, and I wanted to draw them. So I took these pictures. I took this picture, and somebody else took this picture of me, and I took that picture, and I just sketched them and drew them, and it was so fun. And this one especially is very special to me, because this is the first time I drew myself in my little mobility aid scooter, which I've been using for like 2 years now, but I've never drawn myself in it. And it really feels like it is a part of me, and how I get around nowadays. So it makes me happy to include it like this, and to I don't know, because I had a little bit of trouble accepting that I needed one in the beginning. Now I really like it and I have fun with it, but this, like, I don't know, this feels like a celebration of it. Like, yeah, this thing is great, it helps me move around more, and it's part of my life, so it's in my sketchbook. I think that is like the most important part. It's part of me, so then my sketchbook reflects that, and that was super fun. I love these little things. It just makes me happy. And then this one I named after Amire, one of my very old characters. He's been with me for a long time. Yeah, and I incorporated the like the way I made these pages look cohesive is again with the texture elements, but also with the colored pencils, the same medium on both sides, and the same sort of theme, I guess, because it's both plushies. This one I really like. This one I did last weekend with a friend of mine. I was over at her house and she drew that one for me, and I drew these. And I used her acrylic markers to acrylic brush pens, and we had so much fun with them, playing around. These are some characters of mine. This is just a random tiger. Very fun. And then this one I did today. And yeah, with this one, obviously, I mean, I keep repeating myself, but same medium on both sides and same kind of element on both sides, both tigers. And with this one, again, it's like the same medium because it's ballpoint pen, but it's also the same sort of style. And then I just wrote the names of the dogs. Yeah, I'm having so much fun with art again, and I'm drawing stuff from my life, because these are all dogs. All the dogs I've drawn are dogs that I walk, or dog sit, and it's just so fun to, I guess, like, give you a little, like, not even just for other people, but more like even for myself. Just, this is what is on my mind. This is what I am doing, or like thinking about every day. And like, this is stuff that is from my psyche, I guess. Like, this is so important to me. And expressing myself, I feel like this is helping me express myself through art again, instead of just making technically sound pieces, and it just makes me happy. I'm just happy about it, and I'm looking forward to drawing more. And I already have an idea for another video that includes the sketchbook, but I will leave it here for now, and I just want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!